Today I will be reading from Luke chapter 15, verse 4 and 11. Heaven rejoices over one repentant sinner. The parable of the lost sheep in Luke 15:4 says, "Suppose one of you had 100 sheep and loses one of them. Doesn't he leave the 99 in the country and go after the lost sheep until he finds it?" This is one of my favorite parables in the Bible because Jesus speaks about a lost sheep. He's talking about a lost sinner who has gone astray and how he would search for this lost sheep in the same way a shepherd would search for his lost sheep. And when he finds it, he would carry it on his shoulder. This is such a beautiful illustration of how much he loves us, that he would go to such measures to bring his lost sons and daughters, and when he finds them, he brings them back home. And how heaven rejoices because that lost sheep are now found. In other words, heaven rejoices for the one repentant sinner that comes back into the family of God, and how there's a big celebration going on in the heavens. This is just like the story of the prodigal son found in Luke 15:11. There was a certain man who had 2 sons, and the younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me my part of my inheritance." And a few days later, the son packed his bag and moved to a distant land. And there he wasted all his money. And then there was a famine in the land, and he began to starve. And how he persuaded a local farmer to hire him, and they sent him in the fields to feed the pigs. And they looked good to him, but no one gave him anything. But when he came to his senses, it says in verse 17, he said to himself, "At home the hired servants have enough food to spare, and here I am dying of hunger. I will go home to my father and say to my father, I have sinned against both heaven and you." So it says, he returned home, and when he was a long way far off, the father saw him and had compassion. He ran to his son and embraced him. But the son said to the father, "I have sinned against both heaven and you. I'm no longer worthy of being called your son." But the father said to the servant, "Quick, bring the finest robes in the house and put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and kill the calf that we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast. For this son of mine was dead and now returned to life. He was lost, but now he is found." So the party began. Oh, my friend, is not this true of all of us when we go astray from God, wanting to pursue our own path in life? When we think that our own decisions are far off, more better than God's ways, because we think we don't need Him, so we wander off. Even when people or the pursuits of the world takes us astray, we sometimes find ourselves drowning in our sins. But look how far off we go to then realize when we have sinned against God for the actions and mistakes that we make or take, when we have fallen deep into that pit and know that God is the one who is there for us, when we, even in our lowest point in our lives, and we have nowhere to go but run to the Father and cry out with remorse, "Father, forgive me, for I have sinned against heaven and you." And in His mercy and love and compassion, He takes us back. He forgives us when we come with a repentant heart. My friend, if you have turned away from God and know that things are not right and you want a true, authentic relationship with God, don't run from God. Run to God. He is the only way. Ask God for forgiveness and seek Him all the days of your life because He has a plan for you. Don't let the world or anyone deceive you. God is a God full of mercy and compassion. Only He can fill that empty void, not the world or anyone. He loves you and me, and He is our shepherd. If you make Him the Lord of your life, my friend, I thank you for hearing this message. I hope it encourages you and brings you closer to a loving Father who never fails us and is seeking a relationship with us, just like a father wants a relationship with his children. I pray that you hear these words. I pray that you hear and you even read the story of the prodigal son, the story of the lost sheep, in Luke 15, 4 and 6 and 11. Read the whole chapter and see how God is such a merciful God, full of compassion and love. I thank you for hearing this word today. I pray it encourages you. And God bless you all.